Good morning, students. In today's lecture of mine, I am going to discuss about one of the most important, one of the most, you can say, a very interesting topic, that is body language. In this particular phenomena of business communication, you all will be able to understand that what exactly is body language all about. Body language, many of us are able to understand it, a language which is being communicated by our body, to put it simply. But it involves lots and lots of science and art. Why science? Science because there are principles, there are postulates related to body language, and art because it's a mastery of fact that body language, with the help of body language, you can depict the inner consciousness, the inner being, and the real soul or the real aspects of yours. So, to begin with, let us first introduce the term body language. Body language is a type of a non-verbal communication in which physical behavior as opposed to words are used to express, to convey in form of expressions, body postures, gestures, eye movement, touch, and space. Now, all these things we have discussed in the previous lecture of mine, where I have told you about the non-verbal communication. So, non-verbal communication in body language is a part of non-verbal communication. You can also say that because your expressions, your body language, your gestures, your eye movement, your touch, your personal space, these all personal space, better known as proxemics. I have already told you in the previous lecture, and I'm going to tell you much more about that proxemics in this lecture also. So, body language exists in both animals and as well as in humans. Now, think for an example that have any one of us literally thought that why do the dogs bark at each other, or why do the animals get as soon as they see another animal of the same species, they get attentive and they start creating sounds. You can see a monkey when sees the other monkey starts chattering and all. So why do they actually do that? They actually do it just because the other creature of same species is entering their proxemics, is entering their level of tolerance. So this is a body language, just by movement, just by gestures, just by eye contact. They are actually telling that this is my proxemics, don't enter into it. So this is all about your body language. Body language is an important part of your communication. Most of it happens without consciousness. Now, what is happening that in body language, if you say that is there conscious allowed in body language, or do we do it purposely? No, we do not do it purposely. It happens automatically. Say for example, when someone hits you, you automatically comes into defensive position. Why? Because this is a counter reaction to every action. There is an equal and opposite reaction, which this law is prevalent. The moment you cut a tree, the kind of expression of thought, the those droplets, which are also known as the tear of a tree, they start flowing off or oozing off, just because the reason that it is communicating, that its body is communicating that literally you have hurted me. Excuse me. Now, what is happening that, for instance, when you are blind, and when your blind date arrives, you begin to tap your foot nervously without realizing it. Fortunately, by learning more on this topic, you'll become skilled at understanding the people posture and all. Now, what happens? Say, for example, you go on a blind date. It's most commonly which is being happening in all these days and all. though it is not prevalent now because of the pandemic. But when the blind date, when you go on a blind date and your date arrives, what happens? You actually start fiddling with your pen. You start fiddling with your hands. You start tapping the feet. Why? Because a kind of feeling that this is the very first thing. How will I react? How will I say? What I will utter? All these things your body is start communicating, and when the body goes in tandem, so what happens that it start communicating just by tapping your feet, just by fiddling with your fingers and all. This is called as body language when your body is communicating something to another person's. Body language is not to be confused with sign language. Sorry, I'm having very tough throat with it. So but still I'm continuing with it. Body language must be confused with a sign, but they are not to be confused with the sign language. Now, what is happening in today's scenario? Uh, all of us do occur with various and you deal with various kind of languages. They can be spoken, they can have their own complex grammar systems, and body language is always being confused with the sign language. Say, for example, when you point a finger or you just ask a person, okay, stand up. So, you this is a sign language, or just by giving your sign when you say that okay, I'm true, you raise a thumbs up. So this is a sign language. But is body language to be confused with sign language? No, because sign language is something else. It's the sign which is being commonly accepted by universal countries and in everywhere. Say, for example, thumbs up everywhere denotes that you have done something great or you have achieved something of extraordinary. But when talking about body language is a language which has various grammar. Like I have told in this particular slide, only that it has a complex grammar system of its own. So in society, there is agreed interpretation on a particular behavior. Interpretation may vary from country to country or culture to culture. Now, in over here only, some people say that when you just have a look at this particular slide, or you can just have a look at this particular thing, what it is showing. When you are annoyed, you just do this. You just sit with your hand crossed. When you are showing your arrogance, you raise your arms. When you are defensive. Now, understand this particular thing that when you are defensive, you are actually folding your arms and tightening it up onto your chest. You are actually being defensive in nature. Now, defensive, and when you are confused, you are always lamenting upon things that, yes, I'm confused, I'm worried about. When you are worried, you are just doing this. When you are happy, you are showing your happy faces and on. And when you are irritated towards someone or something like that, you can show it by your facial expression that you are irritated. So all these defensive approach, arrogance approach, annoyed, being worried, being confused, being happy, and being irritated. So all these things can be depicted by your body language itself. So body language is a science which has certain kind of principles, and at the same time it has its own art. The moment you see someone doing this and doing this, you have a feeling that something is bothering him or her, something is bothering him or her. Or when someone is just thinking about this thing or and doing this manner, so you are actually you can comprehend that he wants to say something. He can actually remember, he just want to communicate to you something. So this is the kind of a gesture which is being communicated by your body language and all. Importance of body language, yes. Your body language has a great importance in your day-to-day life. Now, what if you are sitting cross legs? It's for both the males and the females. If you are sitting cross legs, it is depicted that you are confused, and at the same time it has not been taken as a very good gesture in various countries. So Sitting cross legs, see, we all are professionals, we not are models. When you can just see in your modeling fraternity, when a particular actress or actor stand, it stands with a cross legs, crossing the legs and then standing. Now this is their body language, which show that they belong to a particular fraternity. They can do it because there it is not being considered too offensive. But for a professional, if you're a professional, you're sitting in a meeting, you cannot sit with your crossed legs. So for that, you need to have your both the legs intact and sit straight. Now, what is the importance of body language? Body language is just another way to communicate and interpret and help us to share the information. The moment you are thinking about something, you are sitting idle, you are thinking about something, and you are not able to get what to say or what not to say. You sit like this. Oh, this is going to denote that you actually want to say something, but you are not able to say. So you are automatically, by your movement of your hands as well as your body, depicting that what you actually want to say. And body language automatically communicates each and everything. It is often been said that body language is a hardwired into our brains, but we can also learn it and mimic it from the people around us. From time to time, we are children. Now, you often see that many a times, many people try to imitate the body language of others. Say, for example, walking in the style of Mr. Bachchan by putting one hand onto your wrist and then speaking. Now, this is a kind of a gesture which Mr. Bachchan has already done in a particular movie. Now, if you are depicting that particular style into your day to day language, it is not a very good thing, because mimicking someone and actually incorporating it into your language, you just cannot do this thing, because your body language is different from his. Often unconscious from our communication can open to variety of interpretation, and how we believe we are communicating may not be necessarily be received at the other end. Now, say for example, I during the process of communication, when I am communicating with you, I am communicating with you with my both hands in facing my fingers facing the top lobe. The moment I do this, this means that I do not agree and I am not confident with what I am saying, and I am trying to impose something upon you. You can, so for a teacher or for anyone who is actually doing this type of gesture, pointing the fingers downwards, it actually denotes that yes, something kind of a disagreement and or some kind of thought which he or she is not clear. So for that, you have to raise your finger in this manner, and you have to do things in this manner. If you are holding both of the things in it, some people have in a habit, they clasp their hand while speaking. They clasp their hand and speak. Now, see, say for example, this is also a body language gesture. You are in a habit of doing this thing, because the thing is that after taking so much so of this lecture and all, your this vocal cord gets irritated, and at times you need to just cough it out. So this is something else. This is a part of body language only. You are actually communicating by your body that whatever you want to say in a logical sequence manner. So consciously or unconsciously, like when I am talking to you, I am delivering my both the things by using my hand gesture. I am using my facial expressions. I'm using my language of body to actually interpreting you that what I need to say. So consciously or unconsciously, I'm trying to communicate my things in a logical sequence. Whether business engagements, how to show yourself when you are job interview, your interaction with your peers, and even how you treat with the partner. Now, see, during the process of interview, when the interview is going on, you have to sit straight with your backbone and your vertebra and intact. and you have to face and look into the eye of a other person. Looking, gazing are two different things, and I'm going to tell you in the next few slides that what is the basic difference. So basically, your eye contact, the way you communicate by your eye, is all being denoted by your body language and all. There's an old saying that stand tall, the world stand with you, and slouch or slump alone. Now, see, the thing is that the moment you stand with your shoulders erect, with your posture right, posture intact, people have a different persona for you, and they think that yes, this particular man or woman has some kind of a gesturial attitude. But the moment you slouch, you bend your shoulders and all. So what will happen? They believe that it's a very tiresome person, and he's not able to just get into it and get into the basics of your body language and all, and he is not confident. Keeping your chin up, making eye contact is a positive way to show the interest, eager, and focused. Now, with your chin up, with your continuous gaze, with your continuous attentive thought, you can actually make a speaker think that whatever you are saying, whatever a particular speaker is trying to communicate, you're actually listening to him. So your body needs to be very, very intact during the process of communication by communicating your body with your body language. Now, when done with vertical palms, it is supposed to be reflecting as signs of both the parties equally footing. It is often first greeting between the parties. Therefore, often very first impression you give meeting someone to the professional capacity. Now, vertical palms, or you can say a handshake. The moment you shake your hand in a professional way, you need to shake it one, two, and three. Now remember, you do not have to shake the entire hand. You actually need to shake the wrist. One, two, and three. That's it. But most of us, we grasp the hands, we make it intact, and we try to press it. Now, this is a kind of a gesture which is very offensive. You cannot do this thing. And this is going to communicate a negative body language of yours. It is an effective way to show interest in communication. For example, that must be really challenging, Stacy. How should you finalize everything? An effective way to show interest when the conversation is by saying a person's name and when asking question. That must be really challenging, Stacy. How you finalize everything? Now, when you are talking to someone in by just calling out the name, remember to look towards him. Say, for example, when I say Amrita, do you believe what I am saying? So I'm actually looking at Amrita. So instead of that, if I look towards someone else and talk to Amrita, so this is not a proper body language. Or if I say Philip, please do your work properly. So for that, I need to look towards Philip in a particular way and look towards him only. When you are communicating to someone in individual, you basically need to talk to him. You do not talk to others, because when you start, if I say Peter or Philip, do your work, and I just look at somewhere else and I'm going talking to Philip. So this is a kind of a non-verbal gesture which I am not supposed to do. For talking to someone, you need to look at someone's face and in direct contact. Pay attention to your body language. You should always pay attention on how people are using body language and expressing their opinions. Now, all the people who are there towards your particular hemispheres, or they are towards your particular arena, try to look at that how they are actually communicating. Now, don't sit idle. Say for example that you all are doing your MBA and all, and it is always suggested that you have to be attentive, you have to be active, you have to be enthusiastic. So you have to look for all the people who are actually communicating around you. Try to learn from their body language, try to learn from their habitats, and try to See, you all are learners, even I also learn from my students. So you can learn from not only from your teachers, but also from your peers, from your parents, from anyone sitting outside, or you can also learn from just by using some kind of body language videos and all. People can make extensive interference and action. For example, who will be employed and who will be promoted? Academician Amy Cuddy said in her talk. She should said that our body language also reflect our perception of ourselves. When you are trying to make the authoritative action, your brain is inadvertently receiving the signals and acutely creating an idea that you are more authoritative, so that you can be more confident, you can have more confidence in yourself. Now over here, an academician, Amy Cuddy, in a TED talk, there's a show of hers that she said that who will be employed and who will be promoted, etc. So this type of authoritative statement can be made by your vocal language, and if it is being made in a kind of a behavior that is offensive. Say for example, I said who will be promoted and who will be there in employment, I actually don't know. So I am making a sarcasm over here, and when as I say the same words, who will be promoted and who won't, I actually am unaware of that particular thing. So I am making a statement of which is a positive sense. The previous statement of mine, putting the shroud on my shoulders and doing this manner, is going to negate the body language in a negative way. You need to be positive in tone. Advantages: it connects with people better. Now, it is a very true thing that if you are doing a particular body language, depending on which the study you consult, 60 to 93% of your communication is through the body language only. Most of us just do it as a live thinking process. See, you are sitting idle, but you are tapping your foot. You are sitting idle, but you are tapping your finger, or putting a pen in your mouth, or fiddling with your fiddling with the specs. So you are actually communicating. You're communicating some. See, this is doing many of us who are using specs. You have this particular habit of doing this or this. This is a habit gesture. Now, when you are for those who are using specs, when they do not use the specs, still they do this. Now, this is a kind of a thing which you all do it unknowingly. This is a habit. This is a habit which we do it unknowingly, and this is a non-verbal communication. That even though you are not wearing a wristwatch, you still are looking at your wristwatch and doing this. So basically, it's a non-verbal cue. It's a body language which is going to denote that there is something missing as a part of our daily thing. If you are a constant say for example, if you are constant using your specs like me, so what happens actually in my day to day habit, I'm in a habit of doing this or doing this. So whenever by chance if I forget also my specs, I am in a habit of doing this. So this is a body language that this is going to show that something is missing, and I actually going to recall that yet yes, I missed my specs at home. So you can connect with people in a more better manner by using your body language. Double your business, especially if you are a kind of an entrepreneur. You can correctly recognize by adapting someone's body language. See, in a business, when you have a proactive client who is in a habit of proactive nature, that means that he wants everything quick, he wants everything fast. So you need to be fast at particular go. Before he asks for it, you need to deliver it. So basically, you need to say, for example, and how will you understand his body language? He, the moment you see, because some of the people are in a habit, I don't know that how many of you are in a habit of this thing, but they are in a habit of constantly moving. They're just moving with the body. So if they are in a habit of moving, or they are in a habit of fiddling with someone, with something, where you can take an example of a pen, also you can take an example of anything. So these kind of people are in a habit of doubling in your business, and when you double your business, you need to actually understand their body language as a kind of a reflective nature. Prevents conflict. Now, it is very true that by the help of your body language, you can actually prevent a conflict. The moment you say someone very angry, say for example, and this could be depicted by the redness of the face. Often it happens with all of us, that the moment you see, uh, say for example, you have done some mistake, and you see the teacher is not communicating to you, and the face of the teacher is turning red. Now remember, by if you are going to give any such excuse in this particular scenario, you are definitely going to have something. So for that, you need to be very very particular and go along the line of body language. Say for example, if someone is angry at you, do not try to provoke him. Do not try to actually communicate to him. Like in this particular cartoons of yours, this particular gentleman is in a, say for say it could be any reason, is not able to hear to this particular lady, a sales representative of any of the company, and she is saying that your body language says you have lost interest. Now why you have lost interest? Because he is sleeping. Now at times it happens that you talk to a being. Say for example, you go to a particular friend, and you say and you deliver a particular story, that yesterday I saw a very brilliant film, and your friend is fiddling with his or her mobile, or fiddling with the watch, and constantly looking at the watch. So this means that he has lost interest in your language. Do not try to communicate in the very moment. Try to give him or her time, and then uh, try to communicate, because it is going to uh, create a conflict. But by understanding your body language, you can actually evade that particular thing. Improves your presence. By your body language only, you can make a very improvisation in your presence. You all have seen Barack Obama, and you have seen Donald Trump. The moment you visualize someone like Barack Obama, what comes the very first thing in your mind? An erect posture, a beautiful smile, and a generous gesture towards anyone. But the moment you think about Donald Trump, I'm really sorry, but you will think like a jester, or a jovial person, or someone like a cartoon character and all. Why? Because he, though, is the first person of the country, but still, whatever impact Barack Obama has created, he can never create it. Because the thing is that there is a difference between the body language of the two people. There is a difference between two people. So when actually Barack Obama is coming into the picture, and when Donald Trump is coming into the picture, the very presence of two people makes you contradict that. Okay, this is someone with an impressive body language, and this is someone with a negative body language, or a kind of a body language which is not acceptable. So it actually improves your presence. Open up to your world. Open up your world. Yes. it open up your world considerably. Because the thing is that, uh, have you ever wanted to buy a specific car type? Let's say you was considering to buy the latest Chevrolet model. Suddenly you see them everywhere. They are parked at your home depot. They are driven by your offices. Friends suddenly start talking about it. Has a car suddenly being sold 100 miles in your mind? No, probably not. It's your brain that has told you to look them, which is now pointing out every single occurrence of the car. Now, just for this example, say for example, you are in a habit, or you think that I should have a particular thing which is unique, which is extraordinary, and you try to buy it. But the moment you are on verge of buying it, all the people have bought it already. You will automatically lose the interest. They, by their body language, are communicating that this is the most commonly used thing, or this is the most common thing. Say, for example, buying an Apple phone is now a very common trend, which is being bought by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So you can actually buy it by your own expenses also. So the world is open in front of you by the help of your body language. In this particular point, I actually mean to say is that when people are in a habit of buying a particular thing which is of extraordinary nature, and someone buys it, or many of the people buy it in together, a kind of a kind of a gesturial attitude develops, and people will say, no, I don't have, I lose interest and I won't be buying this particular thing. So this is actually communicating you by their body language. Now, just like there are two sides of every coin, in the similar manner, you have the disadvantages of body language. The disadvantages of body language is that body language can give away, and sometimes you will not be able to help it. And if you don't know how to control your body language, you can be giving a negative signal. Say, for example, smile. Now, a smile is a kind of a body language which you need to be very, very skeptical about. Smiling is a very good thing, but smiling towards someone whom you don't know, and smiling with a kind of a gestural attitude that is offensive, because what is happening that there is a cultural disparity. If you look towards someone and smile who is unknown, this can be taken as a very offensive nature in many of the countries. They can think it otherwise. So you have to be very, very particular about your body language, your movements. The moment you point a finger, the moment you raise your hand of handshake towards the Japanese, he will think that you are in a momentum of attacking, and he's going to make a attacking posture of yours. So this is the thing which you need to learn. What you do with your body may show that you are lying. You are lying. Basically, it's, you can say that body language is going to show your inner consciousness. Often at times it happens just by looking at a very old friend of ours. We are into a habit of embracing, or engulfing, or just hugging him or her. Now, you have to be very, very peculiar. In my next few slides, I'll be telling you that there are certain body languages, hugging or embracing someone which you whom you really know. Try to be very, very judgmental, because at times it happens that people are not in a habit of hugging, or they're not in a habit of embracing. Some people are in a habit of touching feet in our Indian culture only, and going towards elders. But some of the elders are not in a habit, and they say, no, 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 I'm just very, very skeptical about touching feet and all. I don't want to get old and all. These type of attitude being developed by their body language, or they feel very offensive. So you need to be very very skeptical about this thing, that who is actually trying to say what kind of things to you, and their body is automatically going to show to you. In an interview setting with your setting, if you don't make an eye contact with your employee and move around a lot, this can lead to not getting a job. Now what is happening, that eye contact, like I told you, is of utmost importance. And if you are not making an eye contact, at times it happens that when you are looking, when particular person is going to ask you a question, and suddenly another person asks you a question, you turn your face towards him and then answer. Now this is not the way to actually answer it. You can actually create a great span of yours and look towards everyone. And that I'm going to tell you in the various few lectures of my own, that how to actually crack an interview, or how to actually go in an interview and see that how people are dealing with it. So it's a part of body language only. uh, Disadvantage of body language: how body language assists to the Indian ethnicity is succeeding negotiating activities. A lot of people think winning in negotiation is all mastering language skill and all, but body language can be a kind of a thing. Now, uh, at times people say that by your words you can just manage people. No, by your body language you can also manage people. They tell if you are angry, they tell that that you are feeling defensive and uncomfortable. They certainly can tell someone that you are lying. See, uh, why it is obvious, you can just make it a thing that our mothers and our sisters catch our lie very quickly. Why? Because they are not no, they are in a habit of actually delivering you, or actually understanding you from the childhood, and they know that at this particular time body language is going to depict this particular thing. Now you can also do this. Say for example, when someone is lying, he or she is not going he or she is not going to look at you. He or she is not going to if someone is lying, he or she will just look at somewhere else and then talk to you. Now this means that this is going to denote that he or she is lying. Types of body language: there are various types of body language, which includes the various things that are going to be discussed in this, that are: first is eye contact. Now you need not to do this eye contact in this, and don't make an eye contact of this fashion. But eye contact is a very very important thing. Now there's an old saying that eye is a reflection of your inner soul. Yes, eye is a reflection of your inner soul, because it is going to tell that what are the things which are of utmost importance. If you are looking at someone, say for example, students, always keep it in mind that whenever you are answering a question, or whenever you are facing an interview, or whenever you are talking to someone, you need to look into the eye of the person and then talk. Most and many of the people, according to research, it has been proved that many of the males are in a habit of not looking towards female. They have a kind of a phobia which is known as a vistrophobia. Vistrophobia and menstruophobia are two different things. Vistrophobia is a phobia towards women. That means that they will not look towards women, and they feel very uncomfortable to look into the eye of a woman and talking. What will happen if your boss is a woman and is going to tell you, okay, Samuelson, come to my office or come to my cabin and I want the report right now? You have to present your report looking into the eye of your boss. You cannot look down, or you cannot look at the sky and all. You just have to look towards her. So proper eye contact need to be developed. Our eyes also reflect our sincerity and integrity towards something which is of unknown factor. Or to just make it a fact that a good event management company will realize that eye contact in the communication of the speech is very very important. Take for instance in a presentation only. Now, when, for example, if I just ask any one of you to come on the dais and just present it. Now, you are required to look into the eye of your audience. It is generally believed that those who have a very authoritative type of nature, and those who have a very confident nature and a confident gesture, they look into the eyes of someone. Uh, Many of the good orators, they actually look into the eyes of people and then talk. Now, you have to make an eye contact to make it a regular habit. You need to contact with people in a regular circumstances. Face. Now, face is one such particular thing which is of utmost importance that is going to create a body language in your gestures. Now, there are 50 muscles in your face communicating every aspects of their own way in their own manner. The color of your skin, the dampness, the moisture in your skin automatically reflects that what kind of communication you are trying to communicate. Let's take an example. A red face. A red face generally indicate that a person is hot in mood. Red face is typically denoting anger. But at times, when you are shy, when someone, say for example, it generally happens that when you are coming for the very first time onto the dais, you feel shy and your face turn red. Now, this redness is going to denote that, and your nose will become pink and you will become red and you will get confused that what to say and what not to say. So, try to automatically make yourself comfortable so that anyone cannot signal by your particular face what you intend to feel from within. Though like I have told you previously that it will be an unconscious gesture. Say for example, I say, okay, uh, you are required to come onto the dais and speak on the topic body language. Anyone to any one of you. So the moment I say this, a kind of a thing will develop that how will I say and what should I say. Now this is going to create a redness in your face, white, coldness in blood, cooling when you see someone which is of utmost fright. Say for example, you are cheating in an exam and suddenly a teacher catches you. You instantly become white. You become white in color. White in color doesn't mean that your face will become absolutely white as a background of mine. No, or as a white color. No, your blood will automatically become cold, and you will feel that something striking, something which you cannot express happens, and you actually make a use of it. Blue, this indicates the coldness and extreme fear. Now, at times, it happens that during winters, it happens with most of us that our face become bluish, little bluish in color. Now, bluish in color means that your blood will have a blackish spot, and you will have a blue kind of an aura onto your face. This actually is going to denote that you are feeling very cold. Moisture on your face, sweating is a natural cooling mechanism, but possibly excitement when you are excited, when you are of fear. See, there are two things. When you are excited, when you are in fear, your face will automatically get moistened up. Emotions on your face. These are the emotions. These are this particular slide which you can actually see. There are different type of emotions being depicted by this particular boy. Expressions, trustworthy. See, uh, Henman et al. Founded the most trustworthy face is one where there is a slight smile which converts from the mouth and turns up with an eyebrows and slightly raised up. See, Henman et al. Has described in his work that when you smile, you actually have those little frowns on your eyelids. So you make a trustworthy expression of it. Intelligent. Now, the moment you show your intelligence, your nose need to get sharpen up. You need to have a confidence in your eyes and all. And Kelly Saratel has explained it very well. Postures, like in talking about postures, if you just have a look at the posture of both of these people who are sitting and reading, one is actually this particular girl is having a straight posture. That means an erect posture. I've already told you that if you are having an erect posture, you can be creating a very good impact. But this person who is slouched up is going to look into the back, and it's not going to. And this boy is not depicting a very good posture. Posture control. See, this is it. When you walk, you shouldn't lean backward, you shouldn't slouch down, you should be erect, and you should have a perfect posture of yours. Posture continues. See, these are the base posture gestures. If you are standing and if you are in tension, you will have a kind of a slight tension and you will slouch down. See, when you are confident, your body posture will become erect and you will automatically become confident in particular nature. And believe me, this is an automatic factor which happens at regular basis. Hand gesture. Hand gesture, all these are the hand gestures which are of utmost importance. Say, for example, I have already told you, putting a thumbs up, pointing towards someone, doing a bye and all, making a fist is all the things. Hand gesture continues in the similar manner. I have tried to explain that what is hand gesture and all. Hand gesture have how we touch other with them with a kind of a gestural attitude and all. Hand gesture when you are making a hi or a hello, or when you are shaking the hands. When I have told you about the fingers and all, this was of hand gesture and all. Personal space, I have already told you in the previous lecture that that personal space is all about the proxemics level, the proxemics levels of the people and all, at a marginal rates. Extremeness. Personal space continue. Body contact. Now, what is body contact? Body contact should not be so much. The moment your body comes into the contact of other, like I told you about embracing, many of us do not try to embrace. Body contact continues. Cultural in different aspects and all. Body language, like in this particular only thing, this particular person is shaking the hands to a Japanese, and this particular lady is actually trying to kiss this particular person. So this is offensive in some culture, and this is not being understood by some of the people. So you need to basically understand the cultural ambiguous and cultural veracity of that particular persons. This was cultural impacts and all. So this is what was all about body language. We discussed about body language. We discussed about the non-verbal communication. We discussed about the physical behavior and the importance of body language, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the types of it. And we have given a final review of it. So that was all about my presentation. I hope you have liked the way I have tried to communicate the aspect of body language. But still, if some of the parts are being missed, or if some of the parts are not being understood by you, don't sit with the notion that you will be understanding everything by your some kind of miracle will happen. No, you come to me, come down, you can come down to me, and you can just refer to me anytime during the class hours or in the lecture, after the lectures also. You can mail me the content, you can WhatsApp me up and all. And by this you will be able to get the real picture of what doubts you have. So with this I end my presentation. Thank you.